Hello viewers, I'm Sunny Chatra. I will be your host for today's interview of Mr. Salim Iqbal, the president of HAB Bank. I'm standing outside HAB Bank's New York location, located on Madison Avenue in New York City. Soon, we will speak with Mr. Iqbal regarding the services provided by HAB Bank, as well as their views regarding local and international banking. So stay tuned. HAB Bank was incorporated in 1983 as a New York State chartered bank. HAB is a member of Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or FDIC. Headquartered in New York, the bank expanded by opening branches in Queens, New York, and subsequently in Los Angeles, California, and New Jersey. HAB is an international banking facility that provides correspondent services to international banks. HAB specializes in financial institution services, international trade finance, asset-based lending, commercial and residential mortgages, and consumer banking services. HAB family of consumer banking products includes HAB e-banking, remote deposit, capture, debit card, Visa credit card, and 24-hour telephone banking. HAB Bank celebrates their third decade of operations and focus on adding value to services provided to niche customers consisting of corporate, consumer, and correspondent banking. HAB is indeed your local bank with international experience. HAB Bank is spearheaded under the dynamic leadership of Mr. Salim Iqbal, the President, CEO, and Director of HAB Bank. Since 1999, Mr. Iqbal has led an extraordinary transformation of HAB Bank with ambitious strategic efforts designed to re-engineer processes and fuel sustained growth with diverse revenue streams. Mr. Salim, besides running HAB, also serves on the Advisory Council of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. He is a member of Community Bankers Council of American Bankers Association. He is also on the advisory board of NYLIB, which is a New York bankers body. In 2013, Mr. Salim was among a select group of business leaders invited to the White House for the Export Finance Roundtable. He is also on the board of Middlesex Community College in New Jersey and Cerritos Community College in California, and a charter member of the Indus Entrepreneurs with chapters all over the US. He holds a master's degree in administrative sciences. I'm excited to introduce you to Mr. Salim Iqbal, the President and CEO of HAB Bank. Hello, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sunny. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, you've been associated with the bank for over 15 years now, and the next big anniversary is your bank's 35th anniversary. Congratulations.
Thank you, Sunny.
Can you talk a little bit about that and, tell me how your journey started and where is the bank now?
Sunny, our bank started in 1983 from Rector Street in downtown New York. The office was on the 34th floor of a building. We weren't really at the street level even. Now, at that time, the plan was that the bank will process dollar clearing for our group's branches. In 1987, we moved to this premises on 99 Madison Avenue in Midtown, New York. In those days, there were so many South Asian garment importers around this area. They used to go to large American banks to open small letters of credit to import garments and other things. And the large US banks either did not understand the meaning of LC or just didn't entertain them because of the size, the security, whatever the nature of their businesses.
Right.
At that time, they started approaching us and we accommodated them because we understood them and the business. So from import-export finance, we got into commercial real estate based on the requirements and demands of the community, and both of us kept growing. It is interesting, I was thinking just today when you asked for this interview that we have completed exactly 30 years on this premises this year because we moved in 1987.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So later we opened a branch in Jackson Heights, Queens, because the area had high concentration of the South Asian community. We then acquired a sister bank in Los Angeles in 1997, then opened a branch in Edison, New Jersey to cover the 3 states. Today we have 7 branches, including one in Hicksville, Long Island, Richmond Hill, Queens, and Artesian, California. So if you look at our branch locations, it becomes very clear that we've been following our community. Wherever we saw concentration of South Asian community, we opened a branch there. So it's been a good journey. It's been a very happy journey.
Many South Asian banks have tried to do business in various states in the US. So tell me, what makes HAB stand apart and what's the secret to your success, so to speak, and how does HAB rank?
Sure. You see, Sunny, US has a very different business and banking environment compared to other countries. And those of you who do business here know what I mean.
Right.
Many foreign banks and South Asian banks have tried to do business here. It's a highly complex regulatory environment. Our bank has been growing steadily. When 2008 recession happened, we, I think, were the sixth or seventh position in the country among the South Asian American banks. Some unfortunate situations happened to many of the other banks. We lucked out, we grew nicely, we had strategic thinking. As we stand now, based on the data that we have received, we are now the largest South Asian American bank in the US. Now to answer the other part of your question, what are the reasons for this success? I think one of our reasons is our focus on long term. We are not in a rush to grow. Everything that we do is long term. So having a complete and in-depth understanding of laws and regulations of the country is our number one priority, not earnings or growth. We want to be the best in the business of banking. When our customers need us, we want to be there for them and provide them the best possible service we can. We didn't make this bank so that we can flip it or something. We are in this for the long haul. So we want to be there for our community and for our customers for many more decades. We've only completed 3 so far. So short answer, I guess our success can be attributed to our style of thinking, which is long term and trying to make our customers happy.
We'll take a small commercial break. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, viewers. For those just joining us, we are interviewing President and CEO of HAB Bank, Mr. Salim Iqbal. So, sir, will you tell our viewers a little bit about your products, services, and the markets that you operate in?
So we have 2 distinct businesses, correspondent banking and then the retail businesses at the branches. Under correspondent banking, we have more than 130 banks from 22 countries that rely on us for their dollar clearing. We actually had our correspondent banking conference last month in New York City, where we had invited 70 bankers from 13 countries, including 15 CEOs. Just to let you know, we are now the 6th largest American bank doing this correspondent banking business out of New York. On the branches side, we do everything from small business loans to commercial real estate, both for tenanted or investment properties as well as for owner occupied. We have debit cards, we have credit cards. Our CD rates are, the whole market knows, one of the most competitive, one of the best rates in the market. Now the business, by the grace of God, is very strong and growing very well. In commercial real estate, we finance 1 to 2 commercial properties per day. So the product line is rather simple and straightforward.
So do you have any plans for expanding operations to other locations? And if yes, when and where?
At this point, we plan to remain within the 3 states and the 7 branches and grow vertically, which we have been doing, and we've been outperforming our peer group as we do that. In a couple of years, we plan to unroll some very interesting and new initiatives, but at this time, the plan is vertical growth.
In light of recent news about HAB Bank Limited, the New York State Department of Finance imposed a penalty of $225 million against HAB Bank. Can you please tell us why this penalty was imposed?
Looking at the time of your interview request, Sunny, I thought you'll ask this question. HBL's matter is not new. This dates back to 2006, so more than 11 years, when the US regulator had issued an enforcement order on that bank. In 2015, New York State Department of Financial Services issued a cease and desist order on HAB Bank Limited. It is obvious that the requirements regulators had from that bank were not satisfied. So the regulators took this step, and then this year they imposed the penalty of $225 million and asked them to surrender their license. So the bottom line, when regulators ask a bank to do something, the banks need to understand that in depth and make sure that everything is done, failing which the consequence can be this grave. Obviously, HBL did not fulfill any of those requirements, and that's why this happened to them.
HAB's name up until a few years ago was HAB American Bank. What is the difference between HAB and HBL?
Yes, our name till a few years ago was Habib American Bank. Actually, our legal name is still Habib American Bank. We are using our service mark, which is HAB Bank, which means Habib American Bank doing business as HAB Bank. So let me explain the difference now. HAB is an American bank incorporated in 1983 with New York State Charter and FDIC membership. Our offices are in 3 states, New York, New Jersey, and California. We have no operations outside the United States of America. On the other hand, HBL or Habib Bank Limited is a Pakistani bank that has a branch in New York. So it is a foreign bank which will now be closing that one branch, even that one branch. So they are a foreign bank having one branch here. We are a local American bank with no operations outside the US. Now here's what I want to say. HBL has been having these types of regulatory issues since a long time. So to tell you the fact and the truth, this was one of the reasons why we decided to change our name to HAB, to differentiate and to take the confusion away. Now we have no direct, indirect or any affiliations whatsoever with HBL or Habib Bank Limited.
Is your bank doing okay? And have you received any inquiries from your customers?
Yes, we did receive some inquiries. The day that the news broke into the media, I think it was the 8th of September, the number of calls and inquiries reduced every day. You see, we used to receive calls from the media every time something like this happened to HBL, which used to happen every couple of years. But now the media like Bloomberg, CNN, Reuters, Wall Street Journal and everybody else, they all know the difference. And this time we did not receive any call, not even one call this time. Now coverage by them is also very unambiguous and not confusing. None of the media used HAB or Habib American Bank. They all were very clear. They only used HBL or Habib Bank Limited. You see, let me try to explain this in a different way. Let's see regulators take some action against Bank of China. I'm just using Bank of China as an example. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say anything is happening to them. So now, if something happens to Bank of China, will the customers from Agricultural Bank of China become concerned just because the name China is used in both the banks' names? I don't think so. I can give you many more examples of banks with similar names. So I think most of the customers know what's the difference now because we did have inquiries, but most know the difference, and it's been 4 days now since the news appeared and the inquiries have now died down. Still, to make things more clear, we've issued a press release which has started appearing in several ethnic print and online media. In fact, I would like to use this opportunity, since you're interviewing me, to ask the viewers to visit our website www.habbank.com. Look for the item Important Notice and click on the first link. It is important that you do that now and see what's there. I'd like the viewers to go on www.habbank.com and do it now. Click on the first link. Now, so as far as being okay is concerned, 2017 is going to be the best growth year in HAB's history. By the grace of God, our asset size and earnings will be 3 times larger than they were in 2008 at the end of this year. And 2008, you know, is the year when the Great Recession hit the country. Our asset quality is one of the cleanest and the best in the industry. And Bauer Financial, the prime bank rating agency, has continuously affirmed and reaffirmed its 5-star rating to our bank since more than 80 consecutive quarters. And the 5-star rating is the highest rating given by Bauer Financial to any bank in the US for safety and soundness.
Thank you for clarifying and giving us that information. So, in your opinion, what are some of the mentionable achievements of HAB Bank?
So Sunny, besides this growth and soundness which are internal to the bank, it is important what other outside agencies think of the bank.
Right.
We have alliance partnerships with Asian Development Bank, with IFC, with Exim Bank, with USDA. We are also members of CHIPS payment system, which is an elite group. Only a few banks in the world are its members. In fact, when we became its member, we were the 49th bank to become its member. Imagine there are thousands and thousands of banks in the world, only 49. So this shows the confidence of these other major international agencies that they have in HAB.
We'll take a small commercial break. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, viewers. For those just joining us, we are interviewing President and CEO of HAB Bank, Mr. Salim Iqbal. Any personal achievements? We did a little research on you online. And what is CDIAC and what's your involvement? And what is American Bankers Association and CBC? Would you care to tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. Now, in 2011, Federal Reserve Bank of New York appointed me on the Community Depository Institutions Advisory Council for a 3-year term. The council was just created after the 2008 Great Recession as an advisory group that Federal Reserve wanted to create. CDIC consists of 10 CEOs selected from over 1,200 thrifts, credit unions, and banks in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Puerto Rico, and US Virgin Islands. I'm the only South Asian on the council. I completed my term in 2014, but the Fed asked me to stay on for another term. So only 2 members were asked to stay for one more term. It is of course a great honor to be asked to serve for a second term. I think it's a great honor, especially since I'm the only South Asian on the council.
Absolutely.
And when I sit in the Fed's boardroom, I feel I'm representing my entire South Asian community. CBC is more recent. It happened late last year. American Bankers Association appointed me on it. As you know, almost all banks in the United States are members of ABA.
Right.
CBC is like the eyes and ears of ABA. It has something like 80 or around 80 members, which are used by ABA to interact with the legislators on the Capitol Hill, with the regulators and the media that cover the banking industry. All the states are represented on CBC. 1 to 3 bankers are picked from each and every state in the United States.
That is commendable. I mean, you make us all proud, South Asians, very proud. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, sir, how many bankers does CBC have from New York State?
Just one. I'm the only banker from New York State. Well, I'm the only banker who represents our New York State very proudly.
Any messages for the community?
Well, I would say South Asians are the most hardworking, intelligent, and successful community in the United States. We have all come far and made significant achievements solely based on merit in this adopted home of ours. South Asian Americans have made our community proud in so many different areas. From IT to entrepreneurship, I think South Asian entrepreneurs are one of the hardest working. Look at our doctors. South Asians are rising in politics. I can go on and on. I want to let everyone know that we are proud of our community, and we HAB are trying to make our community proud on the banking industry as well. So we all feel proud of each other together. All the success that our bank has achieved, I spoke about it, none of this would have been possible without our customers and community support. So I want to thank everyone for it and let everyone know that we are here and successful because of you. And yes, next year will be our 35th year, as Sunny, you mentioned at the beginning. So it's been 3 decades, and we really look forward to serving all our community for more and more decades. It's just been 3 so far. And about HAB, like some people say, what does HAB stand for? So I'd like to say in our language or bhasha, it stands for Hamara Aapka Bank. So many thanks for having me. I really enjoyed this interview.
Thank you very much for the interview, sir. Thank you for the time. So viewers, this concludes our interview of Mr. Salim Iqbal, the President and CEO of HAB Bank. Thank you for watching.